Okay, time now is 2:37 p.m. on June 4th. Tiananmen Square massacre happened 37 years ago, so just want to mention that. Um yeah, very sad day. But yeah, I went to bed at like 5:50 basically, and yeah, went to bed at 5:50. And it's been very interesting. I woke up around 8:50 because I wanted to buy tickets to The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I don't really care for the movie, honestly, but I do feel like if I see it, I should see it on IMAX 70 millimeter. I talked about it briefly with Michelle last night, and Michelle's, I don't know what's wrong with her. She's like confused all the time. She's mixing up between 70 millimeter and IMAX 70 millimeter. And she's like, let's go Westwood. And I'm like, no, Westwood doesn't have IMAX 70 millimeter. And Michelle's like, read, child, read. And then she's wrong. Westwood doesn't have IMAX 70 millimeter. Like the Director's Village, the new theater that they just reopened. Um, and then so anyways, this morning 8:50, I was there. I opened my laptop over there, and I was ready to fight through life and death. Um, so I had the Chinese theater website TCL open, and I had AMC website open, and I'm just refreshing. And holy shit, 8:53 a.m. Both sites are just super slow. They're crashing. I literally cannot do anything with them. Um, and Michelle is on Fandango, and Michelle's like, it's so crazy how the seats are already open on Fandango. And Michelle sent me a photo and was like, "Are these two seats okay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And it's a little far, and I'm like, "Okay, wait, can we go a little closer?" And then Michelle didn't react until a while later, and she's like, "How close? Where?" And I'm like, "Just anywhere closer, just 2 rows closer." And then, so because Fandango, this is a third party website, and they, for some reason, they let you buy seats a little earlier. And then, so I also went to Fandango and tried to check the seats. So I was like, ooh, whew, relief, because Michelle got it, she's got it, easy peasy. And then so Michelle tried to buy them, and it's gone. And I wasn't surprised. Michelle had this page open, and it has those two seats selected. And for like a whole minute, she's just waiting for my response and waiting to buy those two seats. If those two seats are truly available, it's probably gone within a couple seconds, right? So it's gone. And then Michelle tried again, and I started trying. I went to Fandango website. I went to not even July 16th, the premiere day, but July 18th, like a couple days after the premiere. I got two random seats, and then I clicked buy, and they're like, sorry, but the seat is actually full. It's actually not available anymore. I went back to the page, and I tried to pick seats that are farther nearer the screen. Maybe it's because the website hasn't updated fast enough and people are buying them by the millisecond. Nope, still full. I try again and again and again and again and again, still full. And then at some point, Fandango just started saying, oh, timeout, there's an error. And then I'm like, okay, let's try, not July 18th, but July 20th, 21st, 22nd. And nope, none of it works. And then at some point, the entire Fandango website is so slow, it just crashed. I literally cannot enter it. Same thing happened to Michelle. And by then, it was like 9:05 a.m. And then I was ready to give up because honestly, I don't care about the Odyssey that much, anyways, and I can just wait for another round of ticket dropping. Michelle's like, really? Are you giving up that easy? And I'm like, I don't know. So I went to the TCL website, just a final double checking, and the TCL website works totally fine. And then I got to July 20th, 3 p.m. It's open, and maybe 30 people have bought tickets, but it's relatively empty. And I just clicked 2 seats, boom, boom. I bought them. I immediately told Michelle, hey, I got these 2 seats. Should I do it or not? Hey, 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 hey. Michelle's not reacting. I'm like, I'm just going to assume yes. And the moment I said that, Michelle's like, yes, do it. So I bought those tickets. And then boom, I did it. So now I have a couple tickets for the Odyssey IMAX 70mm on July 20th. So, wow. That was insane. That was literally hellish. That was even worse than Beyond Fest. I also went to the American Cinematheque website because they have regular 70mm tickets, and I still had to queue up to get into the website. But that website did not crash. It's very well maintained. Um, but yeah, that's that. Um, yeah, that's all. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. So I went back to bed, and I went back to bed at 9:25 ish, and for a whole hour I just could not fall back asleep. I'm just like, I just can't. That was too much adrenaline. But I think around 10:30 ish I kind of just slept back, and then I was half awake, half asleep, and then I woke up around 1. So yeah, not a great sleep. I feel really tired, but maybe it's a good thing so that tonight I could go to bed earlier. So again, I had a crazy ass fucking dream. Um, Crazy ass fucking dream. It's a little PG rated. Um, don't know how much I can reveal here. I went to a film set, and the film set is like related to my mom's company, my mom's music education company, and it's this sweaty sort of like annoying film set. But I was a little laid back because I'm my mom's son after all, and you know, I'm not like paid to work there. I'm just gonna show up and help out for a little bit, and then I can leave. But yeah, it was a film set in the wild, in the wilderness, in not really in the wilderness. I don't even know. It feels like a semi countryside place, but it's still you know like interior exterior mix, kind of this grassy hilly place. That's also like there's like houses and whatever. I don't know. Um, in the crew, Leslie was there. What the fuck? And for some reason, I was happy to see Leslie, and Leslie was quite flirty. And she was like, "Do you want me to peg you?" And she says she has a square peg or like a wooden peg. It's like a wooden. It's like a prism, but it's small. It's like a door stopper, but bigger, and it's shaped like a triangle, which is crazy. And she said I had it lubed up, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Um, no. And then I thought to myself, like, I was leaving. The set has gone on for a while, and I'm like, why not? I haven't seen her in a long time. She seems genuine. She doesn't seem like there's a trick. She seems like she's just in it for the pleasure, and she doesn't really like there isn't like a deep connection with this. It's not like, can I date you? It's just it feels like a friends with benefit thing, and we're not even friends anymore, right? And apparently she's done this to other guys. I don't know. I've overheard a conversation somewhere, but she's like she's doing it just on the regular, and I'm like, maybe it's not that deep. Maybe I should try it out. Maybe it'll be an amazing experience. Maybe it's gonna be weird because she's like frenemies, but that adds to it. That adds a layer to it. That adds a layer of thrill to it. Um, so I went back, but it's over. She's gone, and I'm like, okay, well, there's gonna be another set day. I can go back and I can see her again. So there's another set day, and I didn't even go to set for some reason. I was like with my mom, and I was busy doing something else, so I couldn't go to set. And I'm like, where's Leslie? You know. And yeah, my brother and my cousins were there too, and my brother asked me tips on how to deal with acne. And I think we were back in like my apartment, and there's like a mirror cabinet, and I tried to look for like some kind of ointment, some kind of cream. I don't know, but I was just thinking about Leslie. Like, what the fuck was that? So yeah, that's the dream, which is really fucking crazy. I think, you know, I rarely think about Leslie these days. I only dream about her because I'm writing about her in my essay about my romantic experiences. But yeah. Oh, Nobi just responded. Okay. Finally. Okay.
Welcoming back the exquisite Isabelle Huppert for Penance Game.
I'm so mad I didn't.
My producer's Bo is here, and I usually kind of gauge the sound. I like to slow it like the beginning to be really loud, but then sometimes it makes the voice like piercing, so I hope it wasn't too loud.
No, it was perfect, right? Well, hi, Greg.
Hello.
Well, tonight we screened the new 4K restoration that premiered last year at the Academy Museum. So I want to start by asking what it was like for you to revisit the film after 20 years in this creative capacity.
Yeah, it was really cool. I had a movie called I Wonder Sex coming out. I also brought buttons for people, so that's why I kind of get about them. Yeah, so anyway, to relate to that movie, we did an interesting thing in post-production. Bo's here somewhere. Where are you, Bo? My post, Bo. It was sort of the future of post, actually, where we edited the whole movie in Resolve instead of using Avid or Final Cut or whatever. And it's actually a coloring system, so it allows you to sort of stay in the same timeline. I don't want to bore people with technical stuff, but it does sort of relate back to this story. And so it was kind of revolutionary. Let us be in the coloring timeline for the whole movie. And so when we were doing Mr. Skin restoration, because I did doing the Nova a few years ago, and we didn't have that capability back with those movies. But for this movie, I told Marcus Hu from Strand Leasing, I said I really want to do the finish in Resolve. So what that allowed me to do is literally we scan the negative and then load it in the system, and I was able to literally touch every shot, like the whole movie from start to finish is so much reframing, so many filters. There's things in the movie that have always really bugged me. I mean, Mysterious Skin was a very low budget movie. It was like $1 million. And like non-union, half the crew were like interns. I did some Mary Jane Scales because we screened in New York, and Mary Jane, the producer. I just said to him, how did we fucking even do this movie? Because it was, kids, 35 millimeter. It was like Brady Corbet was also 14 or 15 when we shot the movie, so he needed a teacher. He could only work 8 hours a day. Everything about the movie, and it was period. It was so impossible. And he had put snow, rain, like all kinds of crazy shit in it, and somehow we did it. And But we had no money, so when we did post, there's no money for a digital intermediate. It was literally just finish it on film and do the best color time you can with the old school method. So for the remaster, I was able to go in and just really, as I said, touch every shot, do anything I ever wanted to do that I couldn't do way back then. And one of the things that always bugged me about the movie was that the titles were so dirty because it was a double optical plan. It's white letters on a white background, and we could never get rid of all the hairs and dirts and everything. And so I just like went in and like rebuilt the whole title sequence. And you know, for people that are super curious, like, oh, you shouldn't touch like the movie. But for me, it was like, as a filmmaker, I really wanted to bring my 2025, I guess, skills as a filmmaker to this movie. And there's just things in the movie that have always bugged me. And so we were able to just go in and just completely remake the picture, and we remixed the sound. We had Joe doing like ADR so I couldn't understand. It was incredible. So I was so grateful for the opportunity to create Mysterious Skin for the ages now. So.
For the ADR, wasn't he just recording on his phone or something?
Yeah, it was. There's just the technology now is so amazing. Like what you can do, what we did for Our Wonder Sex and what we did in this movie, and you know, there's just you can just do like I said, he just did the lines. I sent him, I recorded the old lines and just sent it to him, and then he just did it on his phone and sent it back, and we just plopped it in and it worked. I mean, there's stuff you can get away with now that it's not like it was in the good old days, bad old days.
Well, when you
Is my passing, but I just really didn't see any way to make this movie because of the stuff with the kids, and the stuff with the kids was the most important part to me, like that aspect of a childhood getting completely sort of destroyed and sort of losing the innocence of your childhood. And so that part of the story was super important to me, and I didn't want to make a kind of TV movie version of it where it's like the door closes and the violins start to play. And so it was really, in the book, it seems the kids are like even more graphic and just so intense. And I loved it. I was so moved by the book, but I just, you know, the story is I passed on this movie at least 4 times. It just kept coming back and coming. It got sent to me as a galley before it was even published, and then I said I loved it, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it. And then it came back to me at a certain point. Like Scott had written an adaptation of it for the Sundance Lab, and I was like one of the advisors, sort of picking the projects, and I recommended it, and I know he went to the lab and developed it and stuff. But I mean, I remember his version did not have the kids in it. Like the Neil character was 18, like when the movie starts. And so it wasn't literally till like 1999, 2000. I had just done this ill-fated MTV pilot, but called This Is How the World Ends. And I was playing around a lot with eyeline and direct-to-camera point of view, which is one of my favorite things, subjective camera. And it was doing that, I was like, oh wait, maybe there is a way that I can shoot those scenes with the kids where they're just reacting to something and they don't really have to do anything. And so once I sort of cracked that puzzle, then I said, oh well, maybe I'll try to adapt it. And then, so I did this adaptation that was very, very faithful to the book. And then literally we had kind of like 2 scripts, like one script for the kids and one script for the real script. And then so the kids were actually acting almost a different movie. It was funny, like Brady Corbet was at the New York screening, we were talking about it, and it was just like, we shot in the summer for such a dark and disturbing movie. it was such a fun, like, kind of summer camp vibe. It was, the kids were just like so excited to be there, and like free candy, and like it was just, they had kind of no real idea what was going on, and so, and the only, you know, the trickiest part was for like Bill Sage. You had to basically do a scene with the kids, and then the kids were kind of went back home, went home, and then Bill did the rest of his scene basically to camera. And then it was really, for editors or people in the audience that do a lot of editing, you can tell how the movie's made. It's just like so much like the kids looking at something and what they're looking at. And so that's kind of, once we figured that out, we were able to make the movie, and the rest is history.
Well, what kind of movie did the kids think they were making?
We just kind of it was funny. It was like, they knew that it was for adults. The parents were, of course, on set all the time. The parents, of course, knew what we were doing. And, you know, it was really, you know, a lot of kids, you know, passed. A lot of parents were like, no way, my kid's not being in this movie. And part of the thing that made the movie work, I think, was Mary Jane Skalski, the producer, because, you know, this is 2002, it's not 2000, I think, like, around the early 2000s, and, you know, I was, like, still, like, wearing my leather jacket. I looked scary still. I was not as bad as during the Doom generation, but I was still a kind of, you know, like, artsy punk dude. But Mary Jane literally looks like a Cub Scout mom. Like, she's from the Midwest, and she's very, like, kind of non-threatening, and, you know, she's white, and she just has a real, like, maternal vibe, you know what I mean? And I think that helped a lot for the parents to, like, she talked to them and just explained exactly what we were doing, and they were very reassured, I think, that the kids would be safe. And the kids had a fantastic time. I mean, they were very, you know, they were just I kind of got what I needed from them, basically, with this sort of weird fictional script that they were working on.
Now, it's pretty amazing how Joseph and Brady both became these huge stars, both in front of and behind the cameras, but I do want to take a moment to shout out the beautiful performance by the late Michelle Trachtenberg. So, can you tell us, like, a favorite memory on set that you have with Michelle?
I mean, I love Michelle, and she was, you know, I mean, I was literally so shocked when she passed. I didn't know. I mean, it was, I forgot what, like, Bo was actually the one, I think, that texted me going, did you hear about Michelle? And I was like, what? What about Michelle? And it was during a time, I don't know, something was going on with the movie, and I was really stressed and really unhappy. I was having a really bad week. And it was literally like, did you hear about Michelle? I'm just like, what about Michelle? You know what I mean? It was like so out of the blue, like it had no idea what it was even about, because I hadn't seen her talk to Michelle for a while. And then, you know, that was one of the things about doing the remaster, was that, you know, it was very tough to do, you know, because she's so radiant in the movie, and she's so young, and her face, and the close-ups of her when she's at the bus scene. It's just like everything, her performance in this movie is so kind of ethereal and angelic as it is. And, you know, also Billy Drago passed away not that long ago. He plays Zeke in the hotel room, and Harold Budd passed away around COVID. And, you know, the thing about Mysterious Skin when I was doing the remaster is that I guess this is fitting for, I'm looking at things that says Bleak Week. It's very, you know, Mysterious Skin is so much about loss, you know, loss of innocence, and that sense of loss really permeated my feelings when I was doing the remaster, because it makes the movie that's already kind of so, I don't want to say hard to sit through, but the movie's so emotional as it is, that having, you know, the people who've passed, that have passed, and being able to admire their contribution, it makes it even more sort of resonant.
Absolutely. And so much of the film is dependent on the incredible ensemble. So can you talk a little bit about the casting process?
Yeah, it was really just, it was tricky. The subject matter is what it is. We had so many auditions, so many actors come in. I remember Joe coming in. Joe actually read both parts, and I remember Mary Jane saying, "The kid from 30 Rock." What? But he was just so great, and in such a place in his career where he was just dying to do like a role like this, just dying to do something kind of indie and adventurous, challenging, and just so outside of the box he was in. So he was, and Michelle the same way. She was just, just off Buffy, Vampire Slayer, or whatever. Brady literally wrapped Thunderbirds, that kids movie, right before he started.
That's amazing.
He had done 13, and then he was in Thunderbirds, and he was fresh from London when we started the movie. And I remember he had a British accent when he started. I won't afraid he can't have a British accent. But yeah, so everybody in the movie, it just was. But interestingly, the first person cast in the movie was Marilyn Rasto, because that part.
Adeline?
Yeah, who plays Adeline, and that part always threw me when in the book and everything about him. I don't even understand really what this character is, who this character is, and I put her in the movie and translated her from the book to the screenplay, but I didn't really have a sense of that character at all. And then Mary Lynn came in, and she was just, she was mainly, she still does like stand up and stuff, but she just had a very interesting vibe, and she really, she had something about her that really captured. I mean, she was such a fantastic. But I remember she had to gain weight for the role. She had to gain like 25 pounds or something. It was like, so it was an innocent time. But she was the first one actually that got cast, and then so we just got super lucky. And then Jeff Lycon's so fantastic in the movie, and he just came in and really. He plays Eric. Everybody just came in and read, and they were all great, and then they all got together and had amazing chemistry, and we just got lucky.
Was Avalon named after the Slow Dive song?
I imagine so. A lot of this is from, Scott is that's why I think I relate so much to Mr. Skin. Scott is very much, he's younger than me, but we're very much from the same cloth. Like, he's really the Cocteau Twins, just like me, and Slow Dive and all. And honestly, I think that's the thing about Mysterious Skin that makes it watchable, is that it is so dark and has such terrible stuff going on in it, but it's such a beautiful movie, and it's so dreamy, and that very much comes from the shoegaze, Cocteau Twins, Robin Guthrie, Harold Budd, like all of that dreaminess is very much a part actually of the book, because Scott was listening to Slow Dive and Cocteau Twins and all that stuff when he was writing it. So it's in the writing actually.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. Like, I'm dying.
By the way, speaking of the music, the Mysterious Skin soundtrack, which has been out of print for fucking 20 years, it's like $600 for a CD on eBay or whatever, is being re-released on vinyl.
That is fantastic.
On 4AD records. So, what else? So it's coming out. The Mysterious Skin is being re-released theatrically in August. I think August 14th. And I think the soundtrack's going to follow it a little bit in September, but it's going to be on CD and also on vinyl for the very, very first time. So
That is
wow.
amazing. And
It's such a beautiful soundtrack. So
it's
I can't
phenomenal. And I do want to ask how the legends Robin Guthrie and Harold Budd got involved, and like what it was like collaborating with them on this.
Yeah, it was literally just crazy. I hate the usual. You can tell, you have to see you on your sex, and that's kind of what I'm listening to. There's a slow dive song in I Want Your Sex, of course, like there is in every one of my movies. It's just like a kind of a Greg Rocky soundtrack with some new stuff in it, some old stuff, and usual.
Awesome. What's your favorite Cocteau Twins song?
That's a tough one. That's.
The first one that
The
comes to
reason
mind.
I'm thinking about it is because I remember when I think it was Doom Generation or Nowhere re-released. I was in an airport going between, I had to make my connection, and I was running across the airport, and I was listening to my Walkman or my iPod, like I always do, and it's a song off Head Over Heels.
Yeah.
And it's an old one, and it's really like, and I can't remember what the song's called, but yeah, everything, I love it all.
Sick, I love it. Now, for what's such a dark story, it's shot so beautifully, evoking a sort of like dreamlike atmosphere throughout the whole thing. So can you talk about your approach with cinematographer Steve Gaynor while creating this visual language?
Steve Gaynor. Yeah, no, it was really like, yeah, it was a tricky movie to shoot, and we had a very tight schedule. I think it was 22 days or something. And it was 35 millimeter. I remember one day the camera stopped working. That was not fun. But yeah, it was very. Yeah, I as a director am very visually oriented, and I always have like my style.
That you had in mind at the time?
I'm trying to think. Not really. I didn't really have a movie in mind. I think it was more the music. Yeah, I think that I love the world that Mr. Skin creates. It's like I'm thinking of like the scene where Joe and Michelle are in that bathroom, the green light. And like we just had so much fun when we were going in to the remaster because it's like Mysterious Skin is such a painterly movie to me, and it was literally just like every scene, every setup was like a painting, so we could really bring out that kind of dreamy otherworldliness. That scene is a bathroom, it's all green and like they're in some weird kind of like underworld almost, and then they go to that movie theater and it's all so kind of, heavenly and so there was just, it's fun, that's what the Resolve is really great at, is you really, when you're coloring a movie in the normal world, you have kind of one shot at it, and you usually have like 5 days because it's really expensive, and you just kind of blast through and like that's how we did like Doom and Nowhere. It's just like as fast as you possibly can. Just like try to get the colors, and when you're in the Resolve for the whole time, you have time to just sort of really make every image exactly what you want it to be. And so I had a lot of fun with that, like really just bringing out that bit. We're so fortunate this year to sell I Want Your Sex at Sundance. It's just because that's so like old model of like make an indie movie and try to sell it at Sundance, and we were one of the fortunate ones that got sold. But it's like that model is kind of struggling. So, but the flip side for all the young filmmakers out there, I don't want to be too bleak during Bleak Week, the technology is so fucking fantastic now. You know what I mean? It's like when me and Rick Linklater started out, making Slacker and Living In and those movies back in the early old days of the early 90s. Those movies were made on 16 millimeter, and it was just such a fucking really, really hard to make a movie. The technology was so cumbersome, and it was so expensive, like labs, all of it was so expensive. And now, with all of the iPhones and the cameras and this and that, and the technology, just the software, all of it, it just really, particularly if you're one of those tech savvy people, that, there's like that black magic app that does all the shit for you or whatever. But I just feel like one of the things I really learned, or one of the things out of Wonder Sex and Mystery Skin was that it's like once you get the digital information captured from the shoot, you can kind of do anything with it. You know what I mean? It's just like you need to get a clean capture that's in focus and properly exposed, and the stuff has to be in the frame. You know what I mean? And once you're there, you can kind of do anything. Like it can be relit, it can be recomposed. When you're in the 6K, 8K high format things, you can punch in so far, it's insane. You know what I mean? So you can really do a lot once you get through the production end of it. And I do think it's getting easier and easier and easier. There's that.
Okay, it's 4:03 a.m. in the morning, again, late, but today is a pretty nice day, I would say. I woke up and lots to ponder. Again, it's such a bizarre dream. It's such a visceral and intimate dream. Like, nothing sexual happened, but I think it is, it's an interplay between, what is private and intimate, and also what is fantastical, and it just sort of left a strong mark on me, and I don't know, last time I saw Leslie was Hollow Man, which was February, which is not that long ago. It's 4 months, maybe, and then before that it was a few months, and then before that it was like over a year or so, maybe 2 years. But I don't know, when I see Leslie, like, now, like, last time I saw Leslie, she was just for work. She's just there for work. And, I don't know. I just did not feel anything for her. Also, I think, well, on Hollow Man, I was also, like, past Jayun, so Leslie is 2 crushes ago, or, like, 1 crush ago, I guess. So, but the Leslie in my dream is so sweaty and jagged, and, like, she's like a force of, I wouldn't say evil, but she was a force. She's, like, playful, but she's mean with it, and that just captures the version of Leslie I had when I was in love with her so much. And I just can't believe it, because I'm writing an essay about my romantic encounters, and it's actually so incredible how writing that essay, putting myself back into that headspace, can re-trigger so much. But anyways, I digress. I woke up and didn't really have a lot of time to do anything, really. I planned to do a whole, like, edit this thing, do that, blah, 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 but I actually couldn't. I edited the Backrooms review, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I had lunch, and then I had to get out. And then I realized I had to export videos from my phone to the laptop, because I need enough storage space in my phone to record the Greg Araki Q&A. So I did that, and holy shit, I hate this. I hate being late. I was literally second by second. I was watching my phone, and I did everything I could. And I also did it first try. Like my laptop usually doesn't recognize the USB, or usually when I plug my phone into my laptop and I click open the folder with all the photos and videos, it's usually blank, and it's like, this folder is blank, which is bullshit. And so I would have to unplug the phone and replug it, and sometimes I do it first try and then the laptop recognizes it. Sometimes I have to do it 5 times, sometimes 10 times. It's kind of random. Today I did it first try, which is great, but even so, it still took forever for the computer to load all the photos and videos, and I'm literally looking at the Transit app and seeing the time, and I was like, come on. I was already late, and so I had no choice but to call a Lyft. At some point I was like, oh, the Lyft is expensive. It's like $15 and Uber is like $17, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go. I'll be late, it's fine. But I realize if I go walk to a bus stop and then take the bus and then go over, I'll be 15 minutes late, which is not the end of the world. But it's still pretty bad considering how popular this screening is. Oh shit. For fuck's sake. Okay, my laptop's dead. Okay. Great, I guess I won't be watching any anime or doing anything tonight. Fucking hell, I can't even export a fucking video. It's the 3rd time my laptop has freaked out since I've been back. I feel like it's getting more and more frequent, maybe. I genuinely, like, I don't know if it's a storage issue or if it's quote unquote old. It's like 2 years old. It shouldn't be that old. So yeah, I don't know. So okay, well, fuck all that in the fucking clitoris, I guess. Anyways, I called a Lyft. I ran to the bus stop, and then I called a Lyft from there. It's slightly cheaper. It's $12. I'm like, fine. So I took a bus. Not took a bus. I took a Lyft to. I should start using the other laptop, man. What the fuck is this? So yeah, I took a Lyft to the metro station, and then I called, and then I took the metro to Egyptian Theater. I walked with big strides. I ran, and then I arrived at Egyptian Theater maybe 5 minutes late, which is okay. It's fine. And I saw Michelle sitting at the very front. I sat next to her, and then we watched the film, and holy shit, it's traumatizing. It's a very traumatizing film. It's really dark. But I got to re-experience the whole thing. I don't know why I don't remember that much from the film. Like, I know the gist of it. I saw it like maybe 2 years ago. I just did not remember it that well, I guess. But like, watching it again on a big screen, it's just like, oh my god, now I remember. It's really tough. Anyways, Gregor Rocky showed up at the end. Really cool. Really good to meet him. And then he's really nice. He seems a little stoned. I don't think he's stoned. I just think he's like relaxed. Like, the moderator would ask a question and then he wouldn't really answer it and he would go off. Yeah, and then at the end he is trying to give out pins to promote his new film, I Want Your Sex. And he's also down to just meet and greet people, which is great. And so tons of people in the theater just started lining up. And then the moderator's like, okay, let's do single file, line up one by one. And then I spent like, I don't know how long, like 20 minutes in the line, sort of just waiting. And then I finally got to meet Gregor Rocky. A little nervous maybe, but I was just like, hi, great to meet you. He's like, hey, you know. And I was like, oh, I really love Nowhere too. And I was like, I really like Nowhere too. And he didn't really know what to say. I was trying to like wait for him to like react or something. So I added, oh well, also I just graduated from USC also. And he's like, yeah, he's smiling and nodding. Again, like not really awkward, but he just doesn't know what to say. And I'm like, well, now I know what kind of movies I don't want to make. And he's like, haha, like he laughed and he said, well, that's what USC is good for. And it's so interesting because perhaps USC is different 40 years ago because he graduated USCA in like the 80s, you know? And he started making films in the late 80s, early 90s. So there's like a huge like 40-year gap between when we graduated SCA. But yeah, it was nice, and I gave Michelle my phone, and then I asked if we could take a photo, but that's kind of weird because when I gave Michelle the phone, it was already like, yes, of course we have to take a photo. So anyways, we took a photo, it was nice, and then I stepped aside, and another guy came and talked to him, and then Michelle talked to him, and when Michelle was just like, Michelle looks like she's just talking to a regular person. It's just like, hey, well, nice to meet you, and then she just left. I asked Michelle if she wants a photo, Michelle was like, I'm good. I was like, okay. And I nodded, I said thank you again, and then we left. But that was really nice. I got to see and talk to Gregg Araki. I don't remember being able to talk to directors that much. I've met directors, but I haven't like talked to them before. Like I think Lav Diaz, I got to say, I enjoyed your film. Yeah. Michelle told Gregg Araki this is the first film of yours I've seen. But I've seen the series, I've seen Nowhere, but I need to see more, obviously. But it's still really cool because Gregg Araki is one of the first few Asian filmmakers in America that really got it out there. Also, huge integral part of the new queer cinema movement in the 90s. Also an SCA alumni. I mean, he's an important guy. So really happy to meet him. It's crazy, he's 66, he's older than my dad. And in the photo Michelle took of me, I look terrible. I look, my shoulders tiny, I look bloated. But I didn't like it, but I posted a photo anyways. But it's absolutely hilarious how I and Gregg Araki look so similar. We had like a similar haircut, and we smile a similar way. Because we're both Asian, I guess. Which makes the photo really funny. So, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, Michelle drove me back home, which I thought she wouldn't because she has an injured foot, but she did. And, we arrived at my place around maybe 11, but we just spent a whole hour talking in the car until maybe 12:15. I talked about my experience at Cannes, which took like half an hour. And then she talked about her injury. And I talked about my short film situation. So I guess here's a quick little update on the situation. The three concerns: OPT, Sunny, short film. OPT and Sunny, no news. I still haven't texted Sunny. Still kind of scared. I think I should send her a meme instead of telling her to read the script. I feel like it's a bad idea to like show up out of nowhere after weeks and just be like, do this thing for me. I feel like I should just send a meme. I think that's a good starter. I think that's a good conversation starter. Yeah. I feel like I have no aura. I don't know, I want to hit the gym. I want to look better. But I also think a lot of it comes down to the way I present myself and how sure I am of my own style. Anyways, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And then the other thing is the short film. So I talked over with Michelle, and Michelle was like, you know what, you should just start working on it now. Like, who cares about the producers? Just get your head of departments together and then just talk and have meetings. But the reason why I don't want to do that now is because, like, if Andrew and Kate do decide to come on board, then it's like I've already started without them, which is kind of rude. But then also, I'm not sure if Andrew and Kate really want to come on board. The other thing is, yeah. So, you know, there's a certain truth to it. I think if no one wants to produce my short film, I should just produce it first for the time being. Because I feel like the thing with the Empire is that it's not like a one-go thing. It's going to have multiple phases. I'm going to shoot a little bit here, shoot a little there. And, it would be a wise idea if I produce it myself for the first section anyways, and take my own money out and etc., and just use Cliff's Black Magic, set up a time, and yeah, maybe I should do a little, because like Objects in Mirror, before we even started the whole thing, I think not too long after I came back from Hong Kong, I was like, let's watch Poor Things. So me, Cliff, Ken, and Elin, we watched Poor Things. And it wasn't even supposed to be a production meeting. I just thought it would be nice if we all come together and see a film and just hang out first. And I feel like I don't have set PDs, but I do want to introduce Michelle and Christian to Cliff. Christian's going to be stuck somewhere in Minnesota, so maybe it's just going to be me, Cliff, and, you know, Michelle. But that would be an interesting kind of... Not Michelle. Oh, God, I'm going insane. Maisie. So yeah, we should do that. And, yeah, I guess aside from that, yeah, I talked to Michelle to be first AD, but Michelle's like, well, actually, I can be a producer too. And I'm not gonna completely exclude that possibility. I did at first want this film to have multiple producers, like 4 producers. So if Michelle's one of them, it's like fine. I do want a USC producer though. That's a definite requirement. I want someone who knows the ins and outs of USC. And again, the more I think about Andrew and Kate as producers, the more I think they're incompetent. Sure, they have produced films before. They've produced a 10K film. They're USC. But the thing is, Andrew is CAMS, Kate is BCA. At the end of the day, I don't know how reliable they are. And let's not talk majors. Let's talk about the fact that they're both younger than me and they're undergrads. And they're also part of this clique. They're cliquey. And I'm not gonna... You know, there's this Asian film clique that I've been for like over 2 years. I've been trying to get close to them. I never really get to. And then I try to extract 2 people from that clique to produce my film. Like, I don't think that's... Seems like a very wise idea. So, yeah, maybe I should move on. So again, I'm going to do an ultimatum thing tomorrow. I'm going to send Andrew a text, Kate a text. And then I highly doubt they'll respond immediately. But the thing is, I don't think Kate wants to produce my thing. I think Andrew is a little bit more lenient. But if Kate doesn't want to do it, there's a good chance Andrew's not going to do it. Because they're like a duo at this point. And in that case, I'm going to like go to my grad resources. Go to my grad school resources. And I think that's actually a safer bet. So we'll see. What else? Yeah. Also today, a bunch of people just responded to me. Like, a bunch of people decided to wake up today. Like, Camden finally reappeared and was like, oh yeah, my golden earrings. So tomorrow night I'm getting them back to Camden. And then, yeah, and then Nobi finally saw the Instagram text from 2 weeks or like a week ago. I was like, holy shit, I forgot. I'll edit the photos and get them by you tomorrow. And I'm like, sure. And then finally TripleLink, which is the big thing. I found out in the morning. They're like, okay, sad news. The building next to you, it's sold out. It's sold out to an Airbnb. Of course. I knew it. Literally, I've been pestering TripleLink. Like, give me the lease, I'll sign it, I'll pay you. Literally. And they don't. They're like, oh, we'll ask. Like, what the fuck? Is there a conspiracy going on? And of course the conspiracy is fucking Airbnb. So, yeah, so the building next door is becoming an Airbnb, which is fucking weird. And so TripleLink offered to move me to another building forward, like in front of me. As long as we're still in the same plot of land, that's fine. I don't want to move to a different address. So hopefully that works out fine. It's fine, I'll take it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna miss my room. I lived here for 500 days, maybe 600. I'm the first person to ever live in this building, by the way. I'm the oldest customer. Patron. Yeah. Also, I found out Southland Tales and Threads isn't Saturday, it's Sunday. It's June 7th, not June 6th. So tomorrow and the day after I have nothing to do. Gym tomorrow. And then Central Library, I don't know if it's open weekend, but I'll go somewhere on Saturday. Get boba, find a quiet spot, draw, read, whatever. Okay, time now is 2:33 p.m. on June 5th. Yeah, I slept from 5:50 to like 2:30. I don't know. Not a good sleep. I woke up like 7 times or something in the middle. There's like a really long stretch, I think around 11 a.m., where I was awake for quite some time. Don't know what's wrong with me. I think my sleep is deteriorating. I think I've slept so much the last week that my body is like, you don't have to sleep that much, man. You don't. Yeah, I definitely dreamed about something. I just don't remember it because it's so fragmented and mushy. But anyways, I'm back, and today's a chill day. I think I'm gonna try to hit the gym. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, stretch. I want to look good. I want to continue with the self-cultivation. So every morning after I wake up, after brushing my teeth, I want to do some stretching, a little morning exercise. And that seems healthy. And yeah, today I'm gonna try to sort of like push, try to send Sunny a meme, try to push my short film, try to apply to jobs, and see where it goes, where it takes me, and yep. Oh, Shibal, I remember a dream. Okay, I was a TA. I got into the master's program at USC, and I became a TA. But I was TAing for Geography 1. And I was quite excited. It says my name, I'm the instructor. My official title is the instructor. I got into the classroom, and it's a discussion section. I got into the classroom, and I was like, everyone go back to your seats, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 professors showed up and went into the classroom. And they told me to just sit down at a seat. And so I did. And then I just became a student. It was very weird. But I was like, but I'm supposed to be the TA? And I worked on my worksheet. Everyone was given a piece of worksheet. and everyone worked on it, but mine already has the answers written by pencil. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I thought I'm the TA. And so it was kind of weird. And then at the very end of the class, the professor, who I think she's like this woman, and I forgot her name. Like in the dream, I forgot her name, and I felt bad because I don't know what to call her. I don't know, like Miss or Professor something. Like, I forgot her last name. I knew her first name. I forgot her last name. And then she's just like, "Oh, you're good. You're good." So she knows that I'm the TA, but she's not telling me what to do. So it was just like, okay, kind of weird. After class, I left with a student who I vaguely know. I think it's this like black guy who was like younger than me, and then I followed him back to someone's apartment or some place, some gathering place. We left the campus, which again felt like a strange combo of the school and USC. And then we walked through the streets, and then we walked through things, and then we got into some indoors area where I just played music on YouTube, on YouTube, and it just projected the music video onto a wall and played music, and people enjoyed it. That's it. So yeah, that's all I remember. Let's see, how long does this take before my laptop crashes again. I'm just gonna point my phone. Okay, it already crashed 3 times today, I think. So when it quote unquote crashes, it says hibernate, and then it's off, and then I have to wait another 20 minutes to turn this fucking thing on. So let's see how long until it crashes, okay? Place your bets. Guys, place your bets. I already closed every fucking thing, alright? Every fucking thing aside from the 2 things I need open. Adobe Premiere Pro and Media Encoder. I closed every fucking thing so that literally the entire memory will be dedicated to exporting this fucking video. Okay? Let's see how long it fucking takes. I'm gonna point my phone at this thing, okay? Crash, crash, crash. Crash, bitches. Oh, there we go. There we fucking go. There we fucking go. Now wait for it to die. Wait for it to die. Die. What are you doing? Okay, you're on. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, you fucker. Come on. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's been 3 hours. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, boy. You can do it. I'm not touching you. No touchy. No touchy. Please wait. I'm waiting. I'm not touching. No touchy. Come on. You can do it. Boy, you can do it, boy. You can do it. That's bad news. Okay, well, it's dinner time. Okay, ooh, no storage space. Fantastic. It's 2:01 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. It's been, I think, 12 or 11 days since the end of everything part 2, I guess, and today was not so great. I woke up and I tried to export my college thoughts update video last night, and I couldn't because it's late, so I decided maybe I should do it. No, last night I was gonna do it, and then my laptop fucking crashed ball sacks. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow morning, right? So this morning, aka like 3 p.m., quote unquote morning, I tried to export the video in Media Encoder, and fucking hell, it crashed again. And then I tried again. I tried deleting some files, clearing up storage, and it crashed again, and again and again. And then I would wait like sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes like 40 minutes, and then the laptop turns on, and the moment it turns on, it fucking crashes. And I say crash, but it's not like switching off, it just hibernates. And I got really upset. I started screaming, raging. I just cannot accept it. Yeah, it's really upsetting. And I decided to check out the laptop my uncle gave me in Seattle back in December 2024. It's been 1.5 years since I think he gave it to me December 2024. I forgot, but it's been a while. It's in this cloth bag, and then I pulled it out. It's right here right now, and I tried to turn it on, and it literally switches off every 5 seconds. Like the moment it's like idle, the moment I'm not touching the tablet, it switches off. But at least it's still turn onable, you know. Unlike these earbuds, which I can fully charge it and it's gonna work for 5 seconds and then it dies immediately. But that, my uncle's laptop, turns out that's also Asus. This is Asus, that's also Asus. And I'm like, great, it's the same thing, but lighter. But that needs Wi-Fi to like boot itself, and for some reason it can't connect to my Wi-Fi. It connected, but it immediately loses connection, so it doesn't set up. So I gave up. So I literally, this laptop's freaking out. That laptop's not being born, and I just don't know what to do. So for literally 3.5 hours straight, I had no laptop. It's so fucking stupid. So I woke up and my laptop's been crashing nonstop until like 6 p.m. And it's 3.5 hours straight. 6:30, I think. And I thought I should continue with life, I guess. So I wanted to go to the gym. And I did. So thank you. It's my first time back since early May, I believe. Did I even go early May? I don't know. Yeah, probably. So it's been a month. But I paid $240 for 7 months. Turns out $240 is not for a year. It's for half a year. It's for 2 semesters. And in my head, I thought 2 semesters is, spring and fall, right? So that's a year. But no, it's 2 semesters is summer and fall. So it goes till December, essentially. But if I did the math a little bit in my head, if I do 10 times per month, so let's say I go to the gym once every 3 days, which doesn't seem too bad. Some people go like 5 days a week, gym heads. Let's say I go once every 3 days. A lot, but reasonable for someone who really needs to bulk up. So a month has like 30 days-ish, so a month is like 10 times. 7 months, that's like 70 times. $240 over 70, that's like 24 over 7, so that's like $3.50 for each gym entrance. Not bad. Not too bad. But I better make it fucking worth it. So yeah, $240. It feels kind of wrong too, because I dislike sports. I dislike this, gym mentality. I really dislike it, but I also need it because I don't like the way I look. I look I don't know, I'm just so, like, my neck is long, my shoulders are skinny. My mom keeps telling me to, like, train my chest muscles and broaden my shoulders, but I feel like the problem's much deeper. I feel like because my teenagehood is so miserable, because I'm, like, so sad all the time, my sadness actually impacted my bone growth. So my torso is not that big right now because I didn't have a good childhood, if that makes sense. That's my theory. I think it's also because I don't stretch. That's also another theory. This is why this morning after I woke up, I did this. Because my, I don't know what these are called. They're like, I don't know. If they're larger, it would hopefully push my shoulder upwards. And then, yeah. So I'm going to stretch every morning. Even if I'm not at the gym, I'll stretch every day. And on the occasion, I'm going to do push-ups and sit-ups on the floor. I remember telling Leslie that. I mean, remember, but I rewatched my own video, so I recalled. And Leslie was like, yeah, oh my god, storage space. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Anyways, I went to the gym. I went to Ralph's, came back home. My laptop's fine again, because it turns out it's a heating issue. And then I went to Camden's place. Outside of Camden's place, returned him his earrings. Pretty cool. Got to see him, talked to him a wee bit, talked about Can a little bit. Went to Yang Guofu and had $27 dinner. 27! That's crazy. But, you know what? I'll treat myself a little bit. I had a rough day. And that's it for today. Texted a bunch of people. No response. As per usual. I'm living in a fucking void.